I'm ready. Ben hazırım. Siz de hazırsanız başlayabiliriz. So, bugün ne yapacağız? What will we do today? Today we will talk about how to ask for help in Turkish, of course. First, I want to show you a few basic things. This is mostly about the grammar. That is actually like a mood. So we will use the mood. And that mood is, I think it's called potential mood in English, and in Turkish yeterlilik kipi. This is basically a bill and or a bill, depending on the vowel harmony. Okay. And so we insert this suffix into our verbs, but after some or before and after some other suffixes. So let's have this yapmak as our first default verb, yapmak. It means to do or to make. And how can you insert this? Yap, abil. And now you need either a tense, but you can use it in the past, you can use it in the present, you can use it in the future. It's up to you. So you can say yapabilir. I will use the aorist, yapabilir. And now, of course, the question. Misin. Yapabilir misin? That means, can you do? Whatever you're asking, can you do it? Can you help me? So let's actually ask for help. Pencereyi açabilir misin? So you are stuck somewhere, you are sitting in your chair, and you want to say, hey, can you open the window for me? Can you open the window? And let's see one more example. Bana şunu verebilir misin? Can you give me that? Bana şunu verebilir misin? Vermek, to give, so verebilir misin? Can you give me that? Okay, these are the basic stuff. And these are the casual stuff. And how do we actually ask for a real help? Like, can you do me a favor? How do we say this in Turkish? Does anyone have any idea? Can you do me a favor? I will wait for your answer. Okay, Ox, perfect. So, we have iyilik, iyi and lik, so favor. So iyi, as you know, means good, and then we have this lik suffix. It's basically goodness or goodhood, if you want to go uk. So iyilik means basically favor. So can you do me a favor? Bana bir iyilik yapabilir misin? Okay. So we don't always use ebil, by the way. You don't need to stick with it. You can also say And now you can again use aorist tense. So how do you use aorist tense? Instead of saying can you, I don't know how to translate this to English, because in English it's always can you do this for me, but in Turkish maybe it's like would you do this? Yes, would you do this? So in Turkish we use the aorist, which is basically are or er, depends on the case, depends on the vowel harmony. So you can also say, let's use the same examples. Pencereyi açar mısın? Pencereyi açar mısın? This literally means, do you open the window? Oops. But we are actually asking, would you open the window for me? In Turkish, is there a negative way? No, I don't think we ask for help with a negative. Wouldn't you do this? Yapmaz mısın? That sounds a bit weird. No. We either say pencereyi açar mısın or pencereyi açabilir misin? I will also give you a few more colloquial ways after this. So let's do one more example. Bana şunu verir misin? Okay, you don't always need the abil. Abil makes it a bit more polite. So again, it literally means, do you give me that? But of course, I am asking for, can you give me that, or would you give me that? And abil versus aorist. As I said, aorist is always more polite. And yes, because instead of technically asking for it, you're asking whether or not they can do it. So like, can you do it? In English, it's difficult to explain. And aorist, like yapar mısın, sounds more direct. Like you're asking them, like yes or no. But yapabilir misin? Hey, like if it's possible for you, if you could do it, can you do it? So first I'm asking whether or not you can do it. Okay. And you can increase the formality by using the, formal pronouns. That means açar mısın? I'm sure you all know this. Açar mısınız? Yapar mısın? Yapar mısınız? I'm sure you all know this. We have this u, the formal sen and sis. So sen versus sis. Anyway, let's actually get to the fun part and talk about colloquial stuff. The next one, I will talk about this. Sene and sana. Sene, sana. Mesela, yapsana. Versene, açsana, gelsene. This is not always asking for help. This can also be used to get someone moving. Like, hey, why don't you come with us? Gelsene. And I have seen this translated to Turkish as the Turkish version of why don't you do this? Maybe como, that's what you were asking. But again, we technically don't use the negative conjugation, but yapsana. I have seen it translated like this in subtitles by professionals. Professional translators prefer it that way. Because we never say neden yapmıyorsun. We always say yapsana. Okay, so yapsana. Gelsene. And you can use this in your request. Bana şunu versene. You're basically asking for help. Or pencereyi açsana. That's not rude, Vio. And that's even more polite. Like gel versus gelsene. Gelsene is more polite. Gelir misin versus gelsene. I think, personally, gelir misin is more polite. That's my opinion, by the way. Maybe there are other people who disagree with it. But when I think about them, gelir misin always sounds more polite than gelsene. Yes, yeah. You should try to extend or make it longer to make it more polite. Like the longer it is, the more polite it is. Açabilir misiniz is the ultimate polite one. I can also type this. Ultimately polite. Gelebilir misiniz? And of course, you can also include lütfen to ease the command. Like you're not commanding them, you're asking please. Okay, kahve ister misin? Would you like coffee? Kahve yapar mısın? Kahve yapabilir misin? Kahve yapabilir misiniz? Okay, these are the three grammar moods or whatever you call them. You can use ebil, aorist, and sene or sana. So now let's actually talk about additional colloquial expressions that you can use. So now I will talk about vocabulary. So yes, of course we have lütfen. So lütfen gelir misin? Lütfen gelebilir misin? And actually, if you ask for my opinion, lütfen gelsene, I don't think that is used, so I will remove this. Lütfen gelsene. Maybe you can use it, so I will take it back. So it's tricky. I will just call it tricky. Okay, and what else? Now I have something in mind. Oops. Zahmet olmazsa. So I'm sure most of you haven't heard this or they don't know how to use this. Zahmet olmazsa. So what does that mean? Okay, first let's answer Komo's question. Is it better to apologize for something or say thank you? Sorry for troubling you, or thank you very much. I think it is better for apologize, or it is better to apologize, because we even have this, kusura bakma, or after that, like someone helps you, in relation to this expression we say teşekkürler, like you can thank them, or sana da zahmet oldu. Okay, sana da zahmet oldu. People usually say this to let the other person know that they know that it was the trouble for them, but so I'm thanking for going through this trouble. So let's talk about zahmet. Zahmet, yes, it means trouble, but it's not like a problem. It's more like, I'm not sure about the English verse, but it's probably like maybe workload or efforts, maybe. And inconvenience. Thank you, Megan. That's what I was looking for. So, I will actually delete the others. Zahmet is more like inconvenience. Okay, and when I am asking for help, I'm literally asking, can you help me if it is not an inconvenience for me? So, zahmet olmazsa bana yardım eder misin? So, if it's not an inconvenience for you, can you help me? Or zahmet değilse. Zahmet değilse bana yardım eder misin? Yeah, if you don't mind, can you help me? Okay, and in relation to this, let's talk more about other if sentence, like if you don't mind, if it is not a problem, if you can do it. So our next one is that one will be more easy because it's a basic one. Sorun olmazsa, or sorun değilse, or senin için bir sorun yoksa. Yes, that one is basically if it's not a problem for you. Senin için sorun yoksa bana yardım eder misin? So I will skip that part. That's easy. And I will show you something. But I need to check the spelling first. As you know, in Turkish, spellings can be tricky. I don't want to teach you something wrong. So okay. Yeah, as I knew, it was spelled differently. Okay, so you can, as a alternative, natives will probably use this more. Mahzuru yoksa. In my head, I was thinking of it with S, mahsuru, but that means stuck somewhere. So mahsuru yoksa. Okay, anyway, mahsuru yoksa. Senin için bir mahsuru yoksa bana yardım eder misin? Senin için bir mahsuru yoksa bana yardım eder misin? Okay, so I know that I am basically giving you more things, like things, and I am skipping to the next one because there are a lot of things. I'm trying to give you the colloquial ones, and in the second half of the lesson, we will do some practice. I will give you a dialogue, and I will like fill in the blanks with all these words. So let's have the next one. Okay. Mahsur ne demek? Mahsur demek inconvenience ile aynı şey aslında. Mesela problem diyebilirsin, struggle diyebilirsin. So, if you don't mind it, if there's no struggle for you, can you help me? Okay. And actually, there's something that is different this time. It's not if you don't mind. This time it's like, can you lend me a hand? So that one will be tricky. I will explain why. So el atmak. Okay. Şuna bir el atsana. So el atmak is basically lending a hand, but if you want to learn the literal translation, yeah, it means to throw a hand. Like, can you throw a hand at this? So, can you lend a hand for this? So, şuna bir el at da taşıyalım. Oops, no, şuna. It's not separated. Şuna bir el at da taşıyalım. This is something that you can hear when you see people carrying things or moving out, because taşımak means to carry, and it's basically give me a hand, and so we can carry this. Okay. Why the apostrophe at B? Because in daily life we shorten things. We don't pronounce everything. We mostly drop the endings. It's like saying I wanna, I'm gonna in English. Instead of saying bir, I say bi. Or like this, yes, exactly. That's a better example. Yeah, bir saniye, bir tane, bir bakar mısın? Actually, yeah, let's include this. Bir bakar mısın? B is actually optional here. You don't need it. You can also say bakar mısın? This is our way of attracting someone's attention to you. It's like, hey, can you look over here? And you can use this in the streets when you need to ask a question to a stranger. So, bakar mısınız? Bir soru sormam lazım. Bakar mısınız? Bir şey sormam lazım. Okay, so I'm leaving now. Ben şimdi gidiyorum. Herkese tekrar teşekkür ederim. Pazartesi görüşürüz.